What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam whatsoever. Your kid's gonna end up being a douchey rich kid. Yeah, that's right. You don't want your kid to become the type of person that I'm about to talk about, so I would be sure to press the like button. Real talk though, guys, this story takes place about a month ago. I was getting some ice cream from this little ice cream stand, and this douchey rich kid genuinely just like, I could not believe the balls on him. He was one of the douchiest little turds I've ever seen. And he tried to fight me after I called him out for basically stealing. You'll see it in the video. But yeah, it should be a pretty fun video. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah, I pull up and I got those. You haters looking cheesy like some nachos, but I will never stop.
So, as I said, Vegas is pretty hot. I've said that a couple times. You know, it gets to be like 115 degrees. So, ice cream is a pretty, like, normal part of the day around here. Not normal as in, like, on a daily basis, but there are plenty of, like, little ice cream stands and gas station parking lots and whatnot that are really good, especially during the summer. So, one day I was like, yo, I'm feeling some ice cream. So, I went to one that was, like, relatively near my house. I was just kind of doing my thing, and I was standing behind this group of kids, and they were talking, being loud, but like just hanging out. They weren't bugging anybody, like they were just doing what they were doing. But there was one kid that kept trying to like show off and be cooler than everybody else. Like if somebody in the group jumped, then like he would try to jump higher. Like he was just showing off in front of all of his friends, and that's fine. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just minding my own business. And then they get up and they start ordering their ice cream because they're right in front of me. And like the douchey kid is the one who's ordering stuff, and he's just being really unnecessarily rude to the lady who's taking their orders. Like he's repeating things slowly and being like, "Did you understand that?" and looking at his friends and laughing. He's just being rude for no reason. And as somebody who's worked a minimum wage job that sucks, there's just no reason to be mean to the people that are, trying to give you your ice cream or like give you your food. They don't want to be here either, and he was just being rude, and that just started to rub me the wrong way. Like I was minding my own business, and then he just started being a little turd to the lady who was working. So this guy is just kind of being mean to this girl, and I'm trying to keep my mouth shut because I don't want to get involved. Like I don't want to be that guy. I really don't want to be that guy. And then she turns around to start getting the ice cream. And I watched this kid. I could not believe the balls on this. Like, I'm going to say this and you guys are going to be flabbergasted. He reaches in and he takes money out of their tip jar. Like, they had a little tip jar. And he takes a couple dollars out and just puts them in his pocket and looks at his friends and, like, puts his finger to his lips and does the shh thing, and then they all start giggling like little hyenas, dude. This kid and his friends thought it was hilarious to steal tips from this lady working in 115 degrees in this like little shack thing, giving them ice cream. Like, yeah, I at that point I'm like, all right, this is annoying, Like I'm not trying to be 6'9" and snitch out here, but you're not gonna take this lady's tips. It's not even like you're just stealing from the restaurant. Taking tips is literally just screwing over the people that are working running the place. Like if you steal tips from a restaurant, you're the lowest of the low. This isn't a restaurant, but you're the lowest of the low. Like you're genuinely a scumbag if you're gonna steal somebody's tips. So at this point, I say something. As soon as I see him take the tips, I'm like, yo, put the tips back. And he looks back at me and like gives me this look of just pure disgust. And whatever. He's like, I didn't take anything. I'm like, look, I saw you take the tips. Just put it back. And he starts to, be like, oh yeah, did you? Did you really see? Are you sure about that? And I'm like, look, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't work here. I'm not security. Just put it back. Stealing tips is wrong. I'm not gonna argue with this kid. I'm like, just put it back. So whatever. He takes the money out of his pocket and puts it back. And then the lady comes back up with the ice cream and she's like, what's going on? So I tell her that he tried to take the tips. And this kid tries to be like, oh no, like we were just joking. We weren't gonna take them. And I'm like, dude, come on. Like, come on. I just had to egg you on to put it back. You denied even taking it. Like, come on. You weren't gonna put it back. You weren't a joke. And this kid starts being like, why don't you just mind your own business to me? Which, I mean, fair enough. I probably should have minded my own business. But at the same time, Like, minding your own business only applies when people aren't trying to steal stuff. Like, I feel like minding your own business crosses the line when you see, a 15-year-old little shithead stealing money from like this lady who's working her tips. Like, that's just not cool. So I just ask him, I'm like, I wouldn't have to pay attention to you if you weren't trying to do awful things and steal people's money, which I feel like is a pretty fair rebuttal. Follow me on Twitter at scrubby_69, by the way. I'm very funny. It's good content. Anyways, when I say that to that kid, now he starts to just get mad at me, and his next response is something along the lines, like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of like, whatever, mind your own business. Like, my dad makes more money than you, which, first of all, cool, don't really care. Second of all, if your dad is so rich that you're gonna go around flexing that on strangers, why the hell do you have to steal like $3 in tips from an ice cream stand, bro? So I just start clowning him once he says that. I'm like, yo, your dad's rich, but you have to steal from an ice cream stand? Like, that's cringe, bro. That's cringe. And his friends kind of start like giggling at him when I say that, because I'm sure they kind of are realizing how absurd it is that this kid is trying to tell me about how rich his dad is after I literally just watched him try to steal like $3 in tips. Like, he took like three $1 bills, Yeah, man, you're loaded. And if your dad is rich, then you're just an even bigger turd blossom than you used to be. Like, that doesn't make it any better. If your dad is rich and you're still stealing, that makes you even worse. That does the exact opposite of your intended purpose. And even then, what, your dad's rich, so you're allowed to steal stuff? Like, that's allowed now? Oh, yeah, trust me. I'm gonna steal this BMW straight from the dealership. I understand that you guys are a car dealership and, selling cars is how you make money, but my dad is rich, so I'm just gonna take it. Like, dude, I don't care who your dad is or who your mom is. It could be Dwayne The Rock Johnson for all I care. Stealing tips from like a minimum wage worker is just wrong, especially if you're rich. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, it would be one thing if I called him out for stealing $3 and he's like, my little sister's diabetic and we're $3 short on her insulin and she will literally die unless I get this money and I'm too young to work. Like, man, at least then I would feel a little bit bad, but no, apparently Mr. Moneybags over here is just like, just felt like stealing today, which, is not a good look. You're just a little turd blossom. So his friends kind of start laughing at him, and then he gets mad at me. And what happens next is generally what happens when somebody who's just like not used to the word no or looking bad starts to look bad. He starts like trying to get up in my face. And this sounds so cringe. Like, this kid obviously, 15, 16 years old, so it's not like I was ever gonna fight him in the first place, but he gets up in my face, but he's only like 5'6". And I've said this before on the channel, I'm 6'3". Like, I'm a tall dude. I'm not very built. I'm built like Slenderman, but I'm a tall dude. So he's kind of like trying to intimidate me, but I literally have to look down to look at this kid. And he's just like, yeah, you think you're so tough? Like, how about I beat you up right now? And I'm like, dude, you're really gonna fight me because I called you out for stealing stuff? Like, you're gonna fight me because I pointed out something that you were doing is wrong. And he's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, exactly, you're afraid to fight me. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna fight you. And he starts saying that like I'm a wimp, I'm afraid, like I ran my mouth and I'm afraid to back it up. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna fight a kid. You're 15. What? Let's say I do. Let's say hypothetically, man, I drop the gloves, I beat the shit out of you. What? The headline tomorrow on Keemstar's Drama Alert is YouTuber Scrubby beats up kid at ice cream stand. Like, that's not what I want. I doesn't win here. I don't win here. I don't get anything out of fighting you. And like, I mean, I didn't tell him that. He doesn't know I'm a YouTuber, obviously. But I'm like, I'm not gonna fight you. And he starts just like calling me a wimp and stuff. But I'm like, I'm not gonna fight you. You're a kid. I'm not going to jail for you, I think was the exact words that I said. I'm not going to jail to fight this kid. Like, yeah, what you did was wrong. You've given the tip money back. I'm not gonna fight you. So he starts like trying to clown me for not wanting to fight him. And even his friends are like, okay. So I'm kind of like looking around at his friends and just kind of looking at them and ignoring this kid because I don't know what to do. This kid is still like up in my chest because that's where his head level is. He's basically eye level with my nipple, just straight up talking to my boobs. I don't really know what the deal was. I don't know if he was into him, he was confused, but he's trying to talk to my titties. And everyone's just kind of standing there looking at him. Like, everyone's just kind of awkwardly, watching him try to press me. And so finally, like, after a minute, I'm like, are you done? And he's like, yeah, you're still afraid to fight me. I'm like, I'm not gonna fight you. And him and his friends were like, whatever, like, let's go get our ice cream. So after trying to press me and trying to fight me and all that stuff, I was just kind of giggling at him, like, are you done? They finally go away. I walk up and, like, I order my ice cream. I get my ice cream. I go to my car and, like, I'm getting in my car to go back to the house because it's hot in Vegas. I don't want to eat my ice cream standing in, like, 110-degree weather, dude. It's not going to be very enjoyable. It's going to be half melted by the time I even, like, get 2 scoops of it into my mouth. And I look in my rearview mirror as I'm backing up, and who is standing there with the kid? And he's just kind of looking at me backing up in my car. And he, like, flips me off, and I just smile. And when I smile, he, like, starts walking up to the car. So as he's walking up to the car, I roll down the window. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, F you, dude. Like, you sure you don't want to fight? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure I don't want to fight. And he's like, whatever, your car sucks anyways. And I'm like, okay. And I just drove home to eat my ice cream. But what's weird is his friends were gone, which meant that this kid, his friends had, like, gone to eat their ice cream. This kid had come back to the parking lot just to look for me to try to fight me again, bro. I had gotten so under this kid's skin by telling him not to steal the tips from this lady that he legitimately was like, nah, I don't want to keep hanging out with my friends. It's more important for me to go, like, try to fight this adult that told me not to do something bad. Like, oh, yeah, you really got me, man. You really showed me. I've learned my lesson. I will never again tell you not to steal tips because you flipped off my car when I was driving away. I just don't know who's a bad enough person to steal tips, dude. Like, that's the most mind-blowing thing through all of this for me. Obviously, people getting mad at me and stuff, like, it happens. It's not a very rare sighting, but somebody trying to steal tips, that's a new one. I've never seen anybody stoop that low before. Like, if you really are in such a bad situation where you're gonna need to steal $3, get a job. Real talk though, hopefully that kid's rich dad bought him like 7 Xboxes when he got home so he could feel better about himself and then inevitably cry himself to sleep when he realizes that the only joy he gets in life is stealing from poor workers who don't actually have anything worth stealing. But that's just a theory, a game theory. Anyways, guys, on that note, I think that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button and comment the word poop sauce down below. It just helps the video do better in the algorithm and I would appreciate it. Other than that, if you could do me a favor and follow me on Twitter at Scrubby_69, Instagram at Scrubby, those are both great ways to keep in touch. I do have a Discord server as well, discord.gg/Scrubby. And yeah, last thing I gotta plug is there is some new merch out, so feel free to go check it out. A link will be down below in the description. And yeah, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys all next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.